Oh,
Yep.
just a warm up. That was a warm up.
Alrighty then, here we go. This is Ringside Heat episode number 86 and our go-home show before the big show, the great show, the granddaddy
A large event.
The large event, yes. WrestleMania 39. WrestleMania goes Hollywood for the second time. And we're going to start this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll press start on the timer. It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, and guess what? It is how many days? It is 6 days before the biggest show of them all in professional wrestling. WrestleMania goes Hollywood. WrestleMania 39 from Hollywood. And wow, the anticipation is just building right now. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Lex Tan. You can follow me at Lex Tan Media on Instagram and Twitter, facebook.com/LexTan. And of course, you can always follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at Ringside_Heat, Facebook.com/group/Ringside Heat. And you know what? I am not going to talk anymore by myself because I want to discuss this with the ring crew that we have here today. And we've got a 5-man ring crew. It is going to be awesome here because we're all excited for WrestleMania coming up. Let's start off with the person on my right. First of all, he is a Pokemon Twitch streamer, and you can follow him at JAT_93, Jose Tabuada, and wow, Mr. WrestleMania of the group. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm. Keep saying it. It's fun. Keep saying it.
Mr. WrestleMania. And by the way, if you go to his website as well, what's your website, Jose?
What is the website? JoseATabuada.com, I think. TABOADA, I think. It is. I have not. It has been a long
way to plug,
time.
Buddy. Way to plug.
I'm sorry. I haven't been asked that in a long time because I know what you're saying it because I reviewed. I reviewed every WrestleMania up until 35 until I went to WrestleMania 35.
Yeah,
and then
it says the site can't be reached.
Yeah, because I think I shut it down. That's why. Because I think I have to shut it down, but or forget the handle. So folks, in conclusion,
okay, how about this? Let's do that. Let's do that over again.
Or we could just fix it in post.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do that. I want to do that over again.
You're gonna cut this?
Leave it on the podcast version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I'll leave it.
Yeah.
I'll leave this for the podcast version.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I just sprung that on you like it was like just whatever.
Yeah, I had to shut it down because I'm like I'm not gonna pay something yearly for a website that I'm barely on now. Although there is a side of me kind of wants to get it going again, but no, I was like no.
Okay, already.
What an introduction, folks. Welcome.
Mr. WrestleMania can't back it up. Next.
Wow.
And for all of you listening on the podcast right now, we're going to restart the show again for the radio, and we're going to do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
Wow.
Okay.
Oops.
Wrong theme song. Here we go. Sunday night, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of this fine show on Sauga 960 AM. And of course, you can follow the show at Ringside_Heat on Instagram and Twitter, and also Facebook.com/group/Ringside Heat. You can follow me, Lex Tan, at Lex Tan Media. And ladies and gentlemen, listening to this show, my goodness, it is 6 days officially when this show is airing right now. 6 days before WrestleMania Saturday, and the anticipation is building between every one of us here in this ring crew here today. And you know what? I will want to get everybody in the conversation as soon as possible because we want to talk WrestleMania this hour. So let's start it off with Mr. WrestleMania himself, Pokemon Twitch streamer at JAT_93, Jose Tabuada. Jose, welcome.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
How's it going?
Good,
Everybody
good.
great?
Yeah, everything's
nothing
great. Man.
happened. We're
Yeah,
just
nothing-
here hanging out. The Go Home WrestleMania show. 6 days. You love to hear it. You love to see it.
Exactly.
Next.
Right next to him is our theme music writer. He is a musician. He's an educator, and he is just knowledgeable about so many things, including grammar. At John Dawson Music, John Dawson, Johnny, Mr. Diamond selling musician right here. You know.
Yeah, I love that stat. What's your TikTok present? Like, have you done any dancing or anything? Like, am I missing something? Do we have a TikTok thing?
Are you really want Lex 10 to do dancing on TikTok?
Very much so. Yes.
Well, you got to get some.
What do
You got to
want,
get a couple
man?
of IPAs in me in order for that to happen, though.
Seconded.
Okay. We can do that.
I doth protest.
He doth protest.
Next over here, one of the voices that you just heard as well too. He is our he is our prodigal Oos as well, and he's back again to talk about WrestleMania because you know he's been hyped for WrestleMania and hyped for the Bloodline story and also hyped for WWE again. And his name is Steve Piccone. He's also a musician. You can follow him at Piccone Steve. Steve, welcome back.
Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure to be here. And this is the first time that I've been on with Jose since May of 2021.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
was gonna say it's been a while. It has been a while, and maybe that's on me because of like my lack of
it's on me.
scheduling. Okay, never mind. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. You said it. He said it. He said it. He said it.
You can both shoulder some of that blame. But you know, Steve's not just a musician. He's got to be one of the best musicians I've ever met. Let's just put that out there.
There it is.
Let's just put that out there.
Wow.
That's awesome. Okay, and that's coming from Mr. Diamond himself over here. That is high praise.
Well, the problem is now, if anyone looks me up on YouTube, they're gonna actually, see, and I don't know if I'm gonna live up to that.
Oh, maybe. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So,
Can we fix this in post?
yeah.
Oh no, this
We're gonna
is
start
deep,
all over
man.
again.
No, we're good. We're good.
No, we're good.
And also our last member of the ring crew over here, last but not the least, he is our wrestling memorabilia expert and of course our collector rather, and Impact Wrestling expert. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge at Coco Collects, Chico Nugent. Welcome back, Mr. Pundertaker.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, I guess, since I've been on here, huh? I mean, I wanted to talk WWE Toronto house show with you guys. It just didn't work out that week. But I'm happy to be back.
Driving home. That was fun.
Did
Remember?
I miss something in the last month? The Pundertaker?
Oh no, I just kind of came up with that moniker because Jimmy Corderas complimented me
Friend of the show, Jimmy
a
Corderas.
couple of
Of
puns when we recorded. So I was like, let's make a moniker for myself.
And here's the takeaway, kids. No nickname is better than the nickname you give yourself.
Yes, I'll take that. I'll own that. Sure.
Yep. Hey man, I own that too.
My nickname was given to me, and it stuck with me
Senor WrestleMania.
since. Well,
Hold on. What is your nickname?
my nickname for the longest time was Tapwater.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, because of your last name,
Because when I
Tabuada.
was in high school, in the first day of high school in grade 9, when my teacher in my geography class asked us to introduce ourselves, I said my name is Jose Tabuada, but of course Jose was nervous meeting a whole group of people. So when I said Tabuada, I said it really, really fast, and that somebody in the class asked, "Did you say your last name was Tapwater?"
Yes.
And I said, "No, it's Tabuada." And so when you get the words tap and water together, you give it a Boston accent. You say it really fast. You'll say my last name, and so it stuck with me through high school, through college, through work. It's great. So
you know what my nickname was in college? I had a nickname.
Hot Stud.
No, well, yeah, but that's that's on my birth certificate.
Oh, sorry.
Taco.
Paco?
Taco.
Taco, as in the food
Why?
taco.
Why?
My our mutual acquaintance Keith I think, told me about this nickname. But what's the story there, John?
Yeah, what's the story?
When I was at Humbird studying music, one of my colleagues, one of my peers, wanted to make a movie which made no sense in a music program. But I said I want to be a superhero in it, and I called myself Taco Johnny Sizzler. And for some reason,
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm serious.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I don't know what my power was. I know I had a band at one point in the whole story that was Taco Johnny Sizzler and the Garbanzo Beans.
That's amazing.
There's so much to unpack in the
Right?
last 30
And
seconds.
I have this was some time ago, and I don't remember any of it. But for a long time, I was like Taco. And when somebody called me John, like, who's John? Taco. Oh, Taco. Taco.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that got passed around. I did hear about that name. Yeah.
You would have. Yes, you absolutely would have heard Taco from some people. Yes.
Yeah.
It carried on for quite some time.
So, like, if I were to ever find you in a mall and just yell out Taco,
I'd come running over, give you a hug, and
okay, good. As
and
long as you run
I
over.
would thank you for seeing me. I would felt seen.
Well, I know. Well, speaking of nicknames over here, Chico had a couple of them granted onto him about 12 years ago. One of them was Coco. Coco Angid and Father Ronnie Santos, and that is also quite the quite the interesting story as well.
But that was a little less interesting. It was just so I was at a World Youth Day event in Spain, and then some Filipino reporters tracked down me and the group I was walking into the pilgrimage field with, and then they just basically wrote my name down wrong. And by the time it got onto the digital version of the article, I'm Chico Nougat, it said Coco Angid to attribute my quote to. And then on top of that, on the video version, it said Coco Angid Canada under this dude who was talking with people who were obviously waving Philippines flags behind him. So they typoed the marquee. And then next was my clip with the proper quote, but under my face, it said Father Ronnie Santos with the Philippines flag.
Wow.
So that was a whole kerfuffle, but ever since then,
where Coco Collects come from? That's where that comes
Coco
from?
Collects, yeah, that's where it comes from.
I know
because of Coco Angid.
Yes.
That's it. That's the only reason why. Nobody really called me Coco. I just took it from that.
You're just a lovely
amusing little.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Steve, you better have the nickname of a lifetime.
I don't.
Fantastic. All right.
a Prodigal Oos is not bad. That's pretty cool.
Prodigal Oos,
Sure.
I can.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm very happy with that. I can deal with that.
I'm a little envious.
Any nicknames that I've been called throughout my life, I can't say on the radio. Maybe in a podcast version.
I've had a lot of names for you over the years.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What a way to start off our go home show for WrestleMania.
That's right.
Let's talk about
And your
some
new
rats.
host, Coco Collects.
Father Ronnie Santos.
It was me all along.
Go off the track.
Father Ron. Sorry, carry on. Carry on. We have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do, but we got to take a
Indeed, we
break
do.
first, though. Ringside Heat on New Talk Sauga 960. That's our ring crew here for you today, and we'll be back with some WrestleMania talk with Mr. Tapwater, with Taco, with Coco, and with Steve, and me, Lex. When we come back after this short break, after these promotional considerations.
It's you and me and me and you and me.
There you go. That's good energy for a first little intro segment. Man. I like that. That's fun. I like that.
That's fun.
That's what that was. That living meme song that goes around like the socials. You and me and me and you and your friend Steve. That's what you just did. That's what you just did. Steve.
That sounds so Steve Picorni.
Oh, fuck.
And now the energy drops.
Hey man, the punter ticker doesn't always mean that the puns are great.
True.
They just happen.
Dude,
Somebody start the second segment to shut him up.
Hey, even the best baseball players miss 7 out of 10, dude. You're fine.
Oh, for sure. Law of averages, man.
And 3 out of 10 is considered an amazing hitter. So
Yeah, exactly.
Hall of Fame.
I cannot wait for baseball. Just before WrestleMania, we get the Blue Jays back.
Hey,
and all is well in the
I'm
world.
very curious about scoping out the renovations and stuff. I'm curious. I just want to see it.
May the 4th be with you guys.
I want to try to commit to my promise that I made in 2020, just before the pandemic started. I mean, I found like all my old Jays tickets that I kept because I kept those at the time, and I said, all right, in 2020, I'm going to go to 2 games a month because baseball kept me calm. I love it. It gets me away from everything. I can just enjoy it.
And then actual 2020 hit.
And then somebody coughed in China, and then all hell broke loose. So, like,
what are you talking about? I thought like they let a bat out from a lab.
They ate a bat.
It's been a disaster.
Lab leak.
Oh, they ate the bat, but then somebody coughed after, which started the whole thing. So that's what I'm saying. So
that's true.
So I'm hoping I can fulfill that promise this year and just see where it goes. So like, I already got my first game in April, and see where we go from there. But no,
China.
I'm just saying I want to go to I want to go to a bunch of baseball games. So yeah, I'm excited for the renovations, especially that whole $20 ticket where like you can get for $20 you can just stand
the whatever
explore
district,
everything.
whatever it's called.
Just don't sit down. So
outfield district, whatever they call that.
I'm down to do that one day. Because
$20.
I'm down for that too.
I'm
cheap,
down too.
and you get to explore all new areas of the outfield, the upper deck,
especially when it's sold out and you just move around like this because there's so many people.
Yeah, but that would be the best environment to be in if they make the playoffs.
I guess so.
I wonder how many they're gonna cap it off at some point.
Right. Because you
have to cap it off.
I believe like the experience, they have to be cognizant of the fact that you need a little bit of personal space, to have a decent experience. So I hope they don't cap it off at like the literal amount of space that you can use.
I would.
Be too many people.
It looked great in Cleveland in Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Looked incredible when it was so packed to the brim. I'm like, God, I hope we can do that. Like when Rajay Davis hit his home run to tie it up.
Rajay Davis.
That section where the ball landed was nuts. And then they lost, and everybody laughed at them.
Santa Maria. Well, you didn't, Chico. Didn't you have a similar experience when you went to the Marco Estrada game?
No. What do you mean?
Well, you went to an ALCS game in 2016.
Yeah, it was Marco Estrada. We won that game, but there was no walkabout outfield district thing.
Oh no, but what I guess what I'm equating to is when you were telling me the story about like when that everybody was like gathering around, like just like outside the seats, like there was nobody at the merch, there was nobody at the
no, everyone was in their seats, is what I said. Everybody was at their seats because nobody wanted to miss a single thing. It was eerie walking around the merch areas and the food areas because it was like. There's no one walking around. Everyone's locked into the playoff game. So it was great.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good, man. Because that's just everybody thinks that Toronto is just a Canadian team. They're not so much into baseball as Americans are, and it's like, well, Americans aren't even into baseball as Americans are. So as the rest of the world.
Hey, and for those listening to the podcast edition of Ringside Heat, I hope you're enjoying our banter, and eventually we'll talk about WrestleMania today.
Well, when Steve gets back, we shall do so.
This ain't your mama's WWE Velocity.
Oh,
there you go.
Just put it all on me.
Who's in the background, by the way?
For a while there, we couldn't see you.
Steve, you brought up 2K. How are you enjoying 2023?
Well, I just got it last night.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't played it tons yet, and mostly I've just been in the Creation Suite. I love the Creation Suite so far, but I have not played a single match yet.
I've been in this is my first game since 2K20 or 2K19, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. It's been a week, but I love it. I like the controls at first pissed me off because of the whole new reversal thing. That was right to throw my controller across the room, but you get used to it. But the My Rise thing, I've been loving My Rise.
Yeah, I've watched some videos of My Rise.
The story is so weirdly good. I'm like, oh my God, yes, give me more of this. This is entertainment. It's really great. It's really great. And like the indie scene that they promote in it, it's pretty sweet. It's really cool. Yeah, once you played it, like I don't want to give spoilers in case people are gonna play it, but like you can. All I'm gonna say, it's Triple H behind it. It feels Triple H-y.
That's so freaking cool.
If that's a way to say Triple H-y, I don't know if that's
the whole game itself, like it feels
Huntery.
My Rise, it does, and My GM is fun, but I lost budget after a month and I quit it. I'm like, I'm done with this. So, I thought I was doing great.
Makes you wanna fire it up.
Can somebody start the damn show, man? Before like.
Here we go. All right, fine. Here we go. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue. And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. My name is Lex Tan. You can follow the show at Ringside_Heat on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, myself at Lex Tan Media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Look for Lex Tan. I'm here alongside Jose Tapwater Tabata, John Taco Dawson, Chico, Coco, Nugid, Angid, Father Ronnie Santos, and Steve. And me.
That's Steve.
Welcome, guys. I'm so glad to have you guys here.
Thanks, Lex.
Hello.
The pleasure is totally mine.
I'm having fun.
Yes. And hey, we're having fun, and we're not even past our first half hour yet, man. We have WrestleMania to talk about because 6 days before WrestleMania, at least the time of airing, when we're recording this, spoiler alert, it's 8 days before WrestleMania, and the anticipation is just amazing. So, yeah, just random thoughts right now. I'm open the floor. Any thoughts about WrestleMania that we want to talk about right now? Let's just shoot.
What a hot opener announced to kick off WrestleMania weekend. Theory and Cena.
Yes.
That was not a pairing I was expecting to open
Not at
any
all.
of the nights at all.
I thought it'd just be in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it is Cena's first WrestleMania opener since his debut at WrestleMania 20 against The Big Show in, coincidentally, a United States Championship match, which he was the challenger and won it to open up WrestleMania 20. Of course, a very fun Mania, with all being said. But I'm shocked. I'm a little bit surprised because I was expecting KO, Sammy, and the Usos to open it up with the rumors that Rhea and Charlotte are going to close night one, which they shouldn't. But, it's a conversation for another day because we only have another half hour left in the show.
Nope. This is the only day where we converse about that stuff now.
But I'm stunned. And, of course, it kind of makes me wonder, do you start the night with the heel winning it, or do you want to get WrestleMania off to the right foot? And I kind of wonder, and my mind is that I think it's Cena that's going to win his 5th or 6th U.S. title. So I'm really intrigued with the opener. I'm shocked. Because I felt like if it was in the middle of the card, okay, I would have believed that Austin would have won. But
right. Shenanigans and such.
Yeah, but opening WrestleMania weekend on the right foot, what a spot for Austin Theory as well. Like, what a huge spot for the
I don't
guy.
know, man. I think him going over in the opening spot that's the right thing to do.
Oh, I agree.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Big spotlight.
Because Cena is Cena's the kind of guy that, yes, he understands that it's time for the new generation to move on. He's not the kind of dude that wants to be over, but at the same time, I wonder with such a hot start if you want to get the crowd off to a right foot, because everybody loves Cena again. Everybody's kind of like pro Cena again after the hell that he got in the middle of his career. So
For like
I don't know.
decade.
Right.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's intriguing and I like it. And I think it's a great start for the weekend.
Well, here's the thing too, is that like, let's say Cena does go over here and gets the crowd off to like a big start and everything. I don't think that hurts Austin Theory in any way, because first of all, he's going up against Cena, and both of those guys have proven that they can go on the microphone. One thing I loved about the Cena promo when he's like, "Oh no, we don't believe in you because you don't believe in you." That sets up something for his character to develop over time. Maybe we could see Cena putting Theory over at, let's say, a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series or something like that.
No, I don't know, man. I think I'm reading it differently. Cena going over would actually set the wrong tone for Mania.
I think so.
I think it would.
It would almost be the exact opposite of what we saw at Revolution a few weeks ago, right? We were mentioning how at that show, that was very much the older generation putting over younger guys, right? Jericho put over Starks, Christian put over Jungle Boy, Danielson put over MJF, right? And, and that was really well received. And I don't know if Triple H would go against that.
For the record, I do agree with all this. I do agree with.
Oh, for sure.
Very
fair.
fair.
Like I do agree with it. It's just, I just also don't want to ignore, like the pop, the reception, like the hype, the energy, especially with such a with such an important event, right? Because I mean, this is going to be, I think, a very crucially looked at WrestleMania with Triple H's first, completely led by Triple H, knowing that last year it was still Vince. But I would hope that Theory does go over. I do see Triple H doing that. But
and you could also do a thing, in my opinion, anyways, where Theory goes over. But I really think you got an opportunity here to start positioning Theory. I mean, his heel character is great, but imagine a respect moment where, like, a proper like you did it, kid moment, where Theory goes over and Cena acknowledges it, and all of a sudden Theory's in a very different place at that point. You know what I mean? And I it has to be Theory. There's no other option there.
And then playing off of that, John, I can see Theory still being a heel. Just they leave it off at Theory being kind of bewildered that John Cena gives him the nod, and he's kind of just wondering what the heck just happened. Like, why would he do that for me?
Yeah,
you know, I've been
it's a nice
nasty
arc
to
for
him.
his character.
Yeah, and then it builds to something. He can still be a heel for a while, and it would be interesting to see what they do if that's the way
What
they go.
Cena won't do, in my opinion, is just roll out and let Theory have the accolades. I don't see that happening.
No.
I think there will be a respect. You know, hey, look, here's the kid. I think Cena,
even like a begrudging respect.
There has
something.
To be. He's not just going to roll away, walk up the ramp, and let Theory have the moment. That's not going to happen.
No
way.
Well, and also too, like, Theory going over is really the only option, because Triple H is a long-term thinker. What do you do with that US title? If you put it on Cena, what do you do with it? Because he's not back.
No, he's not. And I love the hypothetical theory that I read, or a friend told me, that like in a hilarious fantasy booking, in a hilarious fantasy booking, Cena wins, goes to Raw the next night, and have an incoming Jay White take it away from him. Excuse me, have an incoming Jay White take it away from him, and then he gets off on his WWE career with that.
With the U.S. title?
Yeah, that's a good place for Jay White to start.
That's a good way to bring him in, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not excited for Jay White at all. I've seen him on AEW. Okay, hold on.
Really?
Give me a second here, Jose. I saw him on New Japan. I've seen him on AEW. I haven't seen enough that like lights me up to get excited about him. Like I even him delivering a promo, I didn't really nothing caught my attention with that guy. So I mean, I think he's one of the lesser ones to bring in on a Raw after Mania, and the build would have to be a little bit different. He'll get a pop because it's like the indie fans are going to be in the mix, but I just think, I don't know. That's a conversation for another time. But I think that Jay White, they're going to need to do something special with him to make me care.
Well, putting him right in the U.S. title picture, if he won the U.S. title on his debut, I mean, that would certainly do it. You know, I've been seeing a lot of things about Jay White, and I know we're talking about Mania, but just, you know, you brought up Jay White, so you open this up, Jose. This is all you turned on the tap, as it were. You know, I've been seeing things like, oh, well, you know, let's bring Jay White in, and he goes right after Cody right away, and because of the Bullet Club connection and all of that. But then what do you do with him? Right.
Sure.
And, you know, what do you do with Cody there? Like, you know, so I think putting him in a mid-card title picture and he wins on his debut, being only like the second person, I think, to do that, then I think that's a good place to put him. And doing it against
second
Cena
after
works.
Carlito. Ooh.
No, I don't.
Carlito was the one that I remember.
Okay, maybe it was the third.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's for after WrestleMania. That is an interesting prospect. Jose, good idea with the U.S. title switch.
Thank you. I tried my best here on Ringside Heat.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Ringside Heat on Newstalk Saga 960 AM. We're talking about WrestleMania, a little bit of Jay White, a little bit of speculation as well. And you know what? We're going to continue the conversation here in the next block. We were going to be talking about things about just the booking of the cards and everything, and especially night one, where we have what we do about Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, and then we had the KO and the Sami Zayn reunion, and the follow up this past Friday night on SmackDown. So let's talk about that when we return. After
You got options.
That's right, we do. And your only option, is to stay tuned here to Newstalk Saga 960 and keep listening to Ringside Heat. We'll be back. All right, so that's block number, or that is segment number 2. And segment number 2, let's So let's continue that. Let's continue that conversation as well.
You mean you don't want to talk about Lacey Evans and Xia Li tagging against Natalya and Shotzi? All right, that's what's on my screen.
Wow,
right now.
I'll tell you, it was a real nail biter.
Was it?
Oh no. not
you want to talk about Cody losing his main event spot? Look out for Lacey Evans.
Yeah,
Wow.
Look out. That Cobra Clutch will get you.
Yeah, won't it though? But with Jay White, if they do bring him in, you realize they will have 4 of the 5 past Bullet Club leaders in WWE.
Oh wow!
Yep. Bunch of leaders.
All in there. Styles, Balor.
Carl Anderson was actually the leader before Styles.
Yes,
okay. Then Styles, who still says he was not officially the leader.
Well, but everyone, he was the biggest name, so.
Yeah, then Kenny.
Yeah.
And then Jay. And, with everything we're hearing, we're probably going to get Kenny for WrestleMania 40. So.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Is there rumors? I mean, because he didn't show up the first time, but
there's a lot of rumors that he's going to jump ship. That he's going to jump.
Probably.
Well, he's got a ticking clock on that old body of his. So
that and it's funny. He's actually said that, and I didn't realize when he was out, he had tons of surgery.
Lots of work.
It was like both knees. He had a shoulder done. He had a hernia, like an abdominal hernia repaired, like insane. And he said in a couple of interviews, like, at this point in my career, I've done everything I want to do. Now it's looking at what I can do to further the business and further the industry and further the next generation.
Right. And also I think for him too, what's that final chapter in his legacy? I think he would benefit a whole lot from just even a short run in WWE.
Yep. 100%. And he
could always just go back afterwards, end the contract, go back, run the company, whatever.
Sure. But he's also talked very openly about he's got a good relationship with Triple H.
Yep.
He did an interview where they asked him, there's been rumors that you had a conversation with Triple H about a possible talent exchange with AEW.
I remember that.
Can you talk about that? And he's like, absolutely, I can talk about it. We had a great conversation about it. I think we're very much on the same page with where we see the industry. We're all about the fans. We're all about, anything that is good for the fans is good for the business. Regardless of which company benefits more than the other. Mm-hmm. And so it was really interesting that he would talk so openly about that.
Yeah, and Kenny's done like all of everything else but WWE. He's done. Right. He's done. I think he's achieved about as high up as you can go in any indie. In any Japanese promotion and anything outside of WWE. This is the only thing left, is to have a little run under Hunter. And if it's under Hunter, I believe he'd be more taken care of than if it was under Vince McMahon and his recently new mustache.
Yeah.
Good
reportedly.
His creepy little mustache is what it was described as. Incredible.
Not to be confused with the CLB Christian.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stone Cold, for that one.
Yes.
This is what the rest of the world is missing on the podcast edition of Ringside Heat.
All right. Yep, exactly. Well, we got to get back to the main show over here. So we're going to start it right back up in 5.
It's the main show.
3, 2, 1, and cue. Ringside Heat is back on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, and I'm alongside 4 members of the ring crew here. Jose Tabuada at JAT_93, John Dawson at John Dawson Music, Coco at Coco Collects, Chico Nougat, and Steve Piccone at Piccone Steve. My name is Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media. And gentlemen, I mean, before the break, we were talking things about Kenny Omega and just the possibilities for the future, the Bullet Club, Jay White, and you know what? If you listen to the podcast version, you'll be able to hear some of that conversation that we did have in between the breaks here on Sauga 960. But let's talk about options, because WrestleMania, especially WrestleMania Night 1, 2 of the bigger matches over here, and probably the biggest match of probably Night 1, of course, would be the Usos versus KO and Sami Zayn, which
assuming it's on Night 1.
I was going to say, assuming that it's on
let's
Night
say
1.
it's assuming, yeah. If it is going to be on Night 1, there could be an option there that they could end the show. But then again, there's some rumors as well about Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley ending the show on Night 1 as well too, because it is the Women's Championship as well. So I mean, like there's a lot of options for the matches, especially the big marquee matches, to go anywhere on the card. What do you guys think about just not just those specific things, but just the amount of choice that we have as well, the choice that Hunter Hearst Helmsley has to on both nights of WrestleMania?
I think it's very respectful that you called him Hunter.
I was going to say, he hasn't been a Hearst or a Helmsley in quite a while. So
it's true, but it's true. But there is a reason why. There's a
man
reason why.
of 3 H's, as
yes,
Matt
a man
Hardy
of 3
would
H's.
say, right?
That's it.
Well, I think that Charlotte and Rhea is going to be a great match. I don't know if it needs to close.
I will double down on that and say it does not need. And if you're talking just I don't know, politics of like maybe keyboard warriors are going to jump all over WWE if they do 2 weeks in a row where a women's match doesn't close either night. I don't know, man. I think the locker room is its own culture, and like if they're okay with it, the outside world, really, that's just going to fade away after a little while. And I think that the story that we all know deserves to close one of the nights is anything involving Sami Zayn and Jey Uso.
Yeah, I don't see how you can even argue that. Like, all due respect to Rhea and Charlotte, they're both. It will be a great match, but I don't, story-wise, I don't see how you can have another match close that night.
Well, I think just to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, creative hasn't really done anything to kind of give me a reason as to why this should close
exactly
Night 1. I mean,
yeah,
okay, great. It's a Royal Rumble winner, but how many times in recent WrestleMania history has the Royal Rumble winner not even get that opportunity? I mean, I was at WrestleMania where like the winner of the Royal Rumble opened up the show with Seth Rollins, right? Like, like there's nothing with Rhea and Charlotte that says, "Oh my goodness, I need to see Night 1 close off with this." There's not like they've been apart on TV. There hasn't really been that much confrontation except for like the little brawl on last week, and so it just doesn't scream main event. It just doesn't. Which I think maybe it could have had there been more focus and emphasis on it, because at the end of the day, the emphasis has all been on the bloodline. So
yeah,
but the bloodline's been taking all the oxygen, right?
It has,
right,
but rightfully so. And
exactly.
That's the thing is, let's say you put KO and Sami and the Usos before Charlotte and Rhea. What are you setting them up for?
You're setting them up for WrestleMania 18 style.
Exactly.
I was gonna go there.
Ooh, wow.
Yep.
And WrestleMania 25 style.
Yeah.
And I think ironically, what's ironic about both of those instances,
Triple H
25, Triple H was the victim of the flat main event twice, 18 and 25, because of what Rock and Hogan did at the Rogers Center that night, and then what Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker did just before that. Yeah. And again, it's not creative's fault in that case, because
no
I
particular
understand
person's fault. It was just
it's
magic.
not the talent's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just that's where it is.
Magic. It just happened.
It was all natural. It was all organic. It just flowed the way that it did and created history that is still.
And there's no
in our
way KO, Sammy, and the Usos are going to disappoint. That's the problem. There's just no way.
No.
I don't see an algorithm where this is a disappointing match.
I mean, okay, let's play devil's advocate. Even if the match sucks, which I know it won't, I'm just saying, even if a match does suck, the fans are not even gonna give you that impression. The fans are going to be behind this 1,000%. Like, this is your next Brock Hogan, Taker, Michaels for night one. Assuming, again, like Chico said, if it is gonna happen on night one, but this is where you could have one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say the biggest. One of the biggest WrestleMania moments of the weekend. And you just don't throw that in the middle to ruin the rest of the card, and it wouldn't be fair to everybody else. So
you can't, you shouldn't. That's gonna sap energy right out for
everything.
Else.
I have to presume that Triple H just remembers his time in Houston and Toronto with that happening.
Absolutely. And the doubt it puts for anybody who even tries to be a little bit smart, it's like, okay, well, if KO and Sammy go over, what does that do for Cody and Roman? Because it does put no, hear me out. It does put some, because you're like, okay, are they gonna really dismantle the bloodline completely? Like, is that a thing? Is that gonna happen? It puts a little bit of a to be continued moment on night one. Like, well, what are they gonna do with Roman and Cody? Because you can't have the bloodline lose twice. They haven't done that, it seems like forever now.
And just to frame it like this too, they haven't had a tag team match close a night of WrestleMania since the first WrestleMania. So I think in terms of history, there would have to be, like, Triple H can put a stamp on his reign with that. I think that would be a good thing. And this is the rare time when people will care about the tag team titles at a Mania a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I was also argue that, I mean, yes, aside from that, this would be the first tag team event since WrestleMania 1, as I didn't even think of that. This would also be just the first time ever that the tag team titles are even featured. The titles itself is the bigger story here, aside from the tag team match itself. It's the titles. Sure. Yeah. It's undisputed. Yeah. Steve, you were going to make a point.
Yeah, no, I was going to say too, like, part of the problem previously, like with 18 and 25, Vince McMahon always had this idea that the title always was the main event, period. Always, always, always. That was your main event. There was nothing else that could be your main event. It had to be your title match.
Which I respected, because it was almost like tradition in a sense.
That's not just Vince. That's just the business.
It's just the business. And again,
it is, but Triple H is more of he goes with the flow, and he follows the organic nature of how this has gone. Exactly. He steered into Sammy in a way that Vince never would have.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Right. And I think that he would steer this the same way. And yeah, maybe 5-6 months ago, 7 months ago, when they were planning this, Ripley and Flair was going to close night one. But
it just got good.
But with the way things, the bloodline really, really took off. And I also think too, if you want to talk the politics thing, I think we're past the point where we have to make a show of making the women's title match the closer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not important or that it's any less important, but from a story standpoint right now, it is.
Yeah.
But you're almost doing it a disservice by just showcasing it because it's women. It's like, if it deserves to be mid-card, it should be mid-card.
Yeah,
because that's the equity piece, for lack of a better word. It's like, if it's not the story, it's not the story. Don't make it the story just because it's the women.
Yeah, I think now that aside, the other point I wanted to make regarding Rhea is that when it comes to the Judgment Day, she is not even the biggest story going into WrestleMania with the faction. And I think at this rate, me being the big homer, for Edge, I think your biggest story are the Mysterios within the Judgment Day.
Oh, by far.
That does make me a little sad. That does make me a little sad.
It does.
Rhea is, in my opinion, the best part of the Judgment Day.
Right.
She's been the character.
I would agree with that.
And the fact that she's not the biggest story in the Judgment Day is a problem for me, because she deserves to be. This woman is unbelievable.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's one thing. So, hey, maybe they don't deserve to close the night, but man, it does make me sad that we're going to get Demon Balor, and that's going to be a big pop. It's like Rhea and Charlotte should be the focus of the Judgment Day story.
It should. And I think even just to go off to the Balor thing, this is only going to be the fourth Hell in a Cell match in WrestleMania history, and for the first time in a long time, the cell is used properly to finish off a storyline.
And Edge set it up properly. Here's my question: what kind of, like, I got to be honest, I'm gonna pop for Demon Balor.
I mean, it'll be nice,
Yeah,
but
as a one-off, sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna. It is a weird thing to do to a crowd. I mean, it's Edge. It's pretty safe. You know, everybody's the minute they hear "You Think You Know Me," they're gonna lose it.
I will cry.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But Demon Balor is a spectacle. That is a beautiful thing to watch.
What is WrestleMania if not a show of spectacles?
But is Demon Balor confirmed? Like, is
yes,
it
I think so.
Edge all but called him out. Edge said, "Bring your demon.
Bring your demon."
Like in a candlelit room in the dark. It's very to me. It's very much a shoehorned aspect. But at least you got Edge doing it, and it's a little more convincing that way. But
I just don't think Demon Balor fits.
He doesn't fit
version.
in the story. I agree with that.
At all.
I agree. But I think it's going to happen. I think
Mania.
Finn started it. We said hell couldn't handle my demons.
Yeah. So
there's a seed planted.
I would be down to see like a purple and black color scheme demon
sure,
as opposed to
me
the original
too,
red
me too.
and black.
I want him to tweak it a little for this.
And I also want to say, again, as somebody who witnessed a demon in person at WrestleMania, it is a spectacle and it is a sight to see, and it is a very fun entrance to see on such a stage like that. It was special.
Yeah.
That was that was before the women's main event. But even then, I was starting to get tired. But as soon as the demon came out, I'm like, holy hell, this
now
is
hold on a second here.
Yeah.
The Demon Balor, he's never been a heel Demon Balor, right? It's always been, since it gets a creative pop, it just becomes a face pop, right?
Yeah.
What if he just doesn't conduct like he normally would as the demon with the theme? Like the theme happens.
I don't know that he could do that because the whole demon walkout, the whole entrance is a choreographed entrance. I don't know that he could do that.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see them try, but in an effective way. I don't know to have him still be the heel of the match, but in demon form.
He could do a thing where he tries to come out as demon and then kind of throws it off. He's like, "No, I'm not, dude. Like these people are like he could do things, that
like a gotcha."
Yeah, a little bit of a gotcha.
I don't know.
I mean, again, that's low hanging fruit, but I'm just saying, like, we're thought experiment. There are ways where he could do that.
There are several ways. Yeah, and again, like Steve, I'm not totally sold on the demon being part of this because of the whole Judgment Day iteration of Finn Balor. So we'll see.
Ringside.
But we got options.
That's right, we do. Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. This is Lex Tan, and wow, like the discussions we've been having so far here between all members of the ring crew that are with us here today have just been amazing. And we're going to continue more of these discussions as we continue on with. We haven't even gotten to KO, and we have gotten to KO and Sammy. We did
a little, but we haven't got to the IC title and the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. It's going to be a fun segment.
I do have one more deal. We can do it after, but I have one more point on that.
Alrighty, then we will do that. We'll go to break, and we'll be back after these promotional considerations. Stay tuned.
All right, podcast edition. What's your point, there, John?
Sorry, so we're all in favor.
My point is that the ultimate swerve would be expectation of Demon. He just walks out as Fonzie and just says, "I'm not doing it."
F you guys, right?
Like, screw you. No, I'm not doing it. That's what you want. I'm not doing that.
Here's a shark.
This is what you want.
This is the demon. Woo!
I want him to just walk out like he always is. Like, I know y'all expect the demon, but I'm not doing that because he asked, because you asked, because you want it. No.
Oh, that would definitely set him as just a unanimous heel for that match.
It would galvanize him. You know what I mean? Like, it would be perfect. Just like, no, I'm not doing it. No.
Well, yeah, and it would almost be kind of funny if, like you say, he kind of comes out maybe with
Half.
the thing. Well, no, with
right,
the
hair
the
thing.
headdress, right, or
Yeah.
whichever you want to call
Throws
it,
off.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe comes out to the original music, right? And then all of a sudden that music cuts. He throws the thing off, and then you hear the Miles Kennedy thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I think,
and him just like, yeah, like I don't need this, because again, the demon was always a character that was supposed to be summoned when the hero felt he needed that extra thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This character is so cocky,
so arrogant.
He doesn't think he needs it. I don't need this.
100%. 100%.
Right. So I think that
you can have a lot of fun with
how they do it.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with that, in my opinion.
Yep.
100%. That was my
down with that. Any of those things, sure.
Yeah. Either way, Edge is going over, and that's the other problem. Is the demon is? I think the demon's undefeated.
Edge goes over the demon, and then what happens?
I can't wait. I say bury the demon. Be one with our Lord. Bury all your demons.
That's fair.
Edge is our angel. You all know it.
How would you feel if Balor goes over anyway?
Then I'm breaking my TV and WrestleMania's canceled.
Okay.
Now hold on. Finn is a Triple H guy.
He is.
So
I
don't know, man. I have a feeling Finn's got to get the Duke here.
Look, I'll be
should go over, but Edge is about to do a retirement run, and I think SmackDown Toronto is going to be his
final.
End.
Well,
I would bet almost any money on this is his, because he said, I was at Raw. He said, I'm ready to retire. I want to do it in Toronto. We usually come here in the summer. And then they announced
I can see Edge going over because of that.
It was his show, Rated R Superstar. It is appropriate for Edge to retire on SmackDown.
Now,
100% appropriate.
I'm selfish, and I wish that it was the biggest stage, and I like the selfish side of me. I know. The selfish side of me wishes that Edge was a retirement in Philadelphia at WrestleMania 40 because it's WrestleMania. I know. Again, I just because
I know. I would love it too.
Because his first Mania was in Philly.
Yes.
Or something? Oh, okay.
No, his first Philly.
Okay.
His first WrestleMania was in Anaheim.
Okay.
No, it was Philly because he helped
I don't know.
The Undertaker commit murder. That's right. It was. No.
That's an important point.
Yes, but again, selfishly, because I love Edge, he's my number one, and the Toronto kid, like to me, is just a special guy. Selfishly, I want him to retire on the grand stage, right? Not even a SummerSlam. Like to me, his send-off should be WrestleMania because of how special that event is. That being said, I'm surprised that Toronto didn't even get SummerSlam and it's going to Detroit, which, okay, whatever. Congrats. Ford Field, yippee-ki-yay. But if it's SmackDown, I understand those arguments. Selfishly, I just wish it was bigger, but I do understand it, and I still got to get my tickets for that show.
He's an old school guy.
He's an old school dude. He's an old school dude, and
old school. He's gonna get out old school.
And on that point, I can see him putting Balor over in his final WrestleMania, which I'm not gonna like because again, selfishly, I want him to go off on a high note on the biggest stage, on his most likely his final biggest stage, which again now makes me even angrier than I'm not even going to Los Angeles. But like it's more if he's given the old school guy, Finn's probably gonna win. I'm gonna hate it, but I can see why Edge is gonna do it.
But then there's gonna be some other story there that I think takes him to SummerSlam where he might get a win, and then he'll go out on his back. That's the guy who'll go out on his back.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, he will. I can't see Balor going over in this one, and it's because like Johnny was saying, he's getting ready for his retirement run.
Yeah,
he's going to start his retirement run on a loss.
No.
Like what trajectory does that?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting.
He's going over at Mania. Finn can survive the loss.
Which almost makes more sense for the Demon, because the Demon can survive the loss, but Finn can still go on. It does make an argument that the Demon can kind of take you one step away from Fonzie Finn that we've been dealing with, and it's like, the Demon could lose, and then Finn could just disown the Demon. I don't know how he does that, but I wouldn't feel if the Demon lost that Finn lost. It sounds weird,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't feel like Judgment Day Finn lost if the Demon loses. Does that make
Okay,
any
I can
sense?
see that.
It does.
I can
It
see
does.
that.
It does.
Mhm.
You know,
I can see that.
Yep.
That wasn't me. That
Yeah,
wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah, it was, and he's deals with those demons, and that puts the demon to rest, which I think he needs to do. Because as a Finn Balor fan,
I weirdly agree.
you know what I mean? Like, get
Yeah.
that out of there. It's over.
Yeah, it's we moved on from it, and I think I think even just to kind of follow up, piggyback on that, maybe I'm wrong because maybe I didn't watch enough NXT, but it just felt like the Demon just never really clicked here. It didn't.
It didn't, Jose. It didn't. I mean, I loved it. I loved the spectacle, but it was the wrong time. It was the wrong time.
Like either it was the wrong time or it was too late because everybody wanted that right off the bat.
Yeah.
I remember everybody
main
wanted that
roster?
off the bat. And on the main roster, again, great entrance to see in person. It is a lot of fun. But like at the end of the match, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
we got the
As a
entrance.
Finn
Just go
Balor
ahead with the
fan,
match.
I don't need the demon.
I don't either.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
at all.
I had enough of it in NXT.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Like it was fun. It was really fun in NXT, and I think it succeeded.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we don't really need the demon much.
No.
Like, especially since the Judgment Day thing for Finn is actually doing well. So
Yeah.
So let him bury the demon. Let Edge do it. Get his W, and everything's fine. And then Finn continues on. I don't know.
That wasn't me. That was me, demon.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So, for all of you listening to the podcast version right now, I'm glad that you're sticking around over here. We're gonna get back onto the radio show right now, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that in just a couple seconds over here. John, you good?
Oh yeah.
Steve, you good?
Yep.
All right. Jose,
We're
Chico,
just chopped
ready?
liver, Jose.
I asked you guys just now. Jose, Chico, you guys good?
Si, senor.
Now he asks.
Alrighty then.
Now he asks.
All right, Senor WrestleMania, let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue. And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of the show, alongside the ring crew of at JAT_93, Senor WrestleMania himself, Jose, at John Dawson Music, John Dawson theme music writer, and at Coca Collects wrestling memorabilia collector, and Impact Wrestling expert Chico Nugent, and along with Grogu as well too in his hands, and as well our prodigal Oos coming back over here for his third episode of Ringside Heat at Piccone Steve Piccone. Guys, wow, this is that's what I love about this show. It just keeps me excited and is making me more excited for wrestling, and particularly for WrestleMania. And we've talked about quite a few of the matches so far. Theory and Cena, Rollins and Paul, they're definitely a night one. And of course, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes night two. But we've also got matches, night to be determined. We mentioned this already. Charlotte Flair putting up the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Omos with MVP in a grudge match. Gunther, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Trish, Lita, and Becky versus Damage Control in a tag match, 6-woman tag match. Edge versus Finn Balor, we've mentioned that in a Hell in a Cell, which is going to be fun. Liv and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus another team to be determined in a 4-way tag match for the Women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way. And we also have the Men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way tag team match. Braun and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus the Viking Raiders, and of course the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and as mentioned earlier as well too, the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic. And
we didn't even cover the main event, bro.
Well, yeah, we haven't
That's
exactly
crazy.
yet.
That's
Exactly.
what a card.
That's how stacked this card is. That's how like even the matches which are like just showcase matches, they're not bad matches either.
Is this setting up to be one of the best WrestleManias we've seen in a long time?
On paper,
quite possible.
absolutely.
On paper, yeah.
Yeah.
I have high potentials. I do have high potential.
This is the way.
What are the odds? And I know the answer before I say it, but I have to ask. what are the odds they opt for Reigns going to 1,000-day run?
It's in there somewhere. I wouldn't put it past the company to go there, and then because Cody would survive this. Now, I think
He would.
the momentum is too hot for them not to crown Cody in this moment. Plus, maybe Roman deserves to rest physically.
Yes.
But I wouldn't put it past them. They're pretty close to 1,000 days now.
This is okay. This is my gripe with it, and this is kind of like I can't remember if I said this like on air or in the podcast version. Or no, I think I said it off camera to you guys. This is Triple H's first led WrestleMania, right? So
yeah,
this is gonna set a tone as to what the direction Triple H wants for the future of this company with him as creative, right? I mean, I think, and I feel like that's not even being brought up enough because of the WrestleMania hype. That this is kind of a significant mania from that perspective. Like this is gonna be the first WrestleMania.
Huge.
The first WrestleMania, 39 years of this, or technically you can argue 40 for the math people out there. This is huge, and to me, if Roman goes over, right, in an era where we were surprised that Roman didn't lose at WrestleMania 37, which I'm still angry about because I thought
Elimination Chamber
or the Elimination Chamber, or you can even argue last year's WrestleMania, although you kind of have a feeling that Lesnar was going to lose anyways. For me, I thought the storyline should have ended at WrestleMania 37. I thought Edge, with the comeback story that he had, gets the title over because I didn't think Daniel Bryan was going to get it. But again, that's not even necessarily me being biased. It was just a story that was there with Edge's comeback after the retirement, right, and the injury that he was gone, the time he was gone for because of all that, right? I thought it made sense. They kept it on Roman, and then the year after was still Roman. I can see the outrage happening again, and I think in even more drastic fashion because they're gonna think that, well, one, it's still Vince. Two, Triple H doesn't have the guts to kind of let go of what his father-in-law has, right, in the vision, but. That's my worry with it, and I think Triple H will do the right thing because he's been proven throughout the year that he's all about wrestling. As like he cares about the industry. He cares about like the pacing and everything, and just the way that he's given the direction for the company. Like this is the only option for Triple H to show like, hey, you know what? This is how I'm different, and it's by putting the title on Reigns. I hope that he doesn't do that mistake.
I mean, the whole bloodline thing, it's been a real exercise in watching people adapt. There's been a real exercise in improvisation in my mind because I think we all can look back and go, this probably was leading to If You Smell at some point.
Yeah.
This was our prediction, that the bloodline thing came crashing down over Cousin Dwayne, Cousin Dewey coming back and setting the family right. And it went elsewhere. Which is where I start going, I don't know what they're going to do. Because, yes, it's right to put it on Cody, but it's also the thing that the wrestling fan base is so weird because sometimes when an outcome is so telegraphed, it gets heat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like, what do we do with Cody? Is he going to get that WrestleMania moment? If there's that cynical side of the fan base go, yeah, we knew this was coming, whatever, yay, Cody, like in some ways it's like he hasn't lost yet, quote unquote, he's undefeated. This is a great story. I gotta be honest, there is a part of me that expects Roman to go over. There really is.
See, I'm right in the middle. Like, I wouldn't necessarily hate either man getting the victory because there are ways you can go about it. And Cody is, I believe, close enough to Teflon that he'll get there. He'll get the world title.
Oh yeah, no question.
But I don't know. I think this is what. While we're close enough to 1,000 days of Roman's reign, I really think this is also at the same time. It's an embarrassment of riches that WWE has right now.
It really is.
It would be just, they're not going to get quite this this momentum with Cody Rhodes in the same way
This will
again.
never
Now,
happen.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
That's what I was
not
about to
quite
say.
the same.
Yeah.
Cody loses.
It's
Do
over.
not. It's
Yeah.
over. You're not.
You never get that back
Right.
again.
You can put the title on him at SummerSlam in Detroit.
won't
It is
be the
not
same.
going to get the
It's not gonna
same
be-
feeling
yeah.
that it should have
Listen,
gotten in LA.
In my heart, I want nothing more. And I'll go back to his quick story. I remember listening to Dusty being interviewed. I think it was JR when he was back on his podcast network. And he interviewed Dusty and he said, "What's your favorite wrestling moment?" He asked him, like, he goes, "My favorite wrestling moment hasn't happened yet. It's when Cody Rhodes headlines WrestleMania and wins the title."
I'm telling you,
Wow.
and the company
Dusty
has
said
so
that.
much love for the late Dusty Rhodes that this has got to happen, and the momentum is so.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Triple
so
H
strong.
was a Dusty Road. There's a reason why Triple
Exactly.
H
Mhm.
brought Dusty to NXT, and the foundation that Triple H was building to get to today with that roster. That's obviously almost everybody, if not everybody, is on the main roster now. All the foundation is Dusty.
Yeah.
It would be just.
It's
It
got to
would
be
be-
Cody. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got
gotta
and you know what?
Yeah.
Even the whole pec tear thing, like you can't write that stuff. Like
Yeah, I
it
know.
just
Yeah.
everything happened so perfectly. His contract with AEW running out at the time it did. The return at WrestleMania, which got the hugest pop,
Yep.
and the pec tear making people want more. It's got that
Best
Triple
thing
H
about it-
Royal Rumble 02 comeback vibe.
He had,
Like,
he had a great
there's a
line about that.
trajectory here.
He had a great line about the pec tear tonight, or sorry, on Friday night.
Yes.
For on SmackDown when it was announced that he's going to go one-on-one with Solo next Friday, and his line was, "I fought with half my body hanging off, and I still beat Seth Rollins. Do you think I'm going to have a problem beating you?" It was
There it
awesome.
is. There it is.
It
And
was
the best
awesome.
the best part about all of it is getting the title on Cody puts the title, their main title, back in, because there are a lot of people that believably could. Cody doesn't need a
Yeah.
900-day run,
Nope.
like at all. And then all of a sudden, you've got a title that can start circulating a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe not
it-
to the extent it
nor
did
do I
with
think-
It's back on the board in a way that
It's
it
back
hasn't
on the
been
board.
for
Yeah.
3
Fresh.
years.
Nor
Yeah.
do I think
It's a
we will
reset.
ever see this for a long, long time. We
Yeah.
will
Yep.
not get this again. I'm not saying in our lifetimes. Then again, I'm also significantly younger than you all. But we will. but
Shots fired.
Move along, kid. Move
Wow.
along. Move
But-
along, kid.
I
Jose, where the J stands for jerk.
but oh god, I lost my train of thought because that was so accidentally funny. But I but I don't see this happening anytime soon, nor should it. Let this simmer for Roman. At the end of the day, despite how many times that we've said that the bloodline was oversaturated in this whole storyline before it's a revival, despite how many times that people are kind of sick of Roman, at the end of the day, I think he really will go down as one of the greatest champions. And I think at the end of the day, it was fun to witness. It was just a story. It just ended up being like, holy crap! Like, we boo the heck out of you. This is so repetitive. We know WWE's predictable, but damn, we saw an incredible piece of history that will stand to tell, that will tell for a long, long time, which is great.
Here's the one credit I'll give some of that kind of, maybe with cynical the fan base, but everybody booed him when he was being shoved down our throats as a face. Everybody wanted him to be a heel because we knew, people knew this guy was just going to be way better to hate than to love. Now, here's my prediction that eventually you could build another faction, and the Bloodline has all of the juice in it to come back as a face faction with because everybody wants the pop for Bloodline. Everybody wants to.
Oh, they got a really great pop.
So
Roman rather got a really great pop at WWE Toronto.
Yeah, Judgment Day's running wild. Whatever faction you come up with, whoever, and all of a sudden they all go on their breaks for a bit, but a Bloodline reunion in a year where they come back as a face faction, you're back in business with a whole other story.
See, just
a short correction to the Cody Rhodes thing. Cody Rhodes will face Solo Sikoa on this coming Monday Night Raw, because next week on SmackDown it'll be the final confrontation between Cody and Roman face to face.
Cool, thank you. yeah, like I had kind of thought that, get the title off Roman, have him go away for a bit, and maybe start to have Jimmy take the place of Roman or try to supplant Roman. Roman's not here, so I'm going to be the head of the table. I'm going to be the one running the bloodline.
Yeah. This is where Cousin Dewey could come in with Roman.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Have that run for 6 months, right? And then that's where the bloodline really falls apart. Because I was joking around about this. I said this on my first time on this show, that I think that we are heading inexorably to Jimmy versus Jay. Jimmy versus Jay is going to happen. And I think that that's how it happens. I think if Jimmy tries to put himself in the driver's seat, I think Jay is going to see through the abuse that he's not seeing through, or he is seeing through it with Roman in a certain way, but I think that he will pull away, and I think even Solo will pull away. Obviously, I'm talking.
Solo has to go solo.
I think it'll be time for him at some point.
Definitely. Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. We got to end the radio side of the show over here because we've run out of time, but we're going to continue this on the podcast version of the show, which you can tune into, which will be available for download immediately after this show is done on the air, and you'll be able to listen to our conversation about WrestleMania in its entirety, and we're going to continue that off the air here, off Sauga 960 and onto Spotify and in your fine podcasting devices and apps as well too. But thank you so much to Jose, to John, to Steve, to Chico, and for those of you joining us on the podcast after the show is done over here on the Sauga 960, we would love to have you over there and interact with us on social media at Ringside_Heat. This is Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960. We are the new law in this town. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend, WrestleMania 39. Woo!
Yeah.
All right. And for those of you that are continuing the show here on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and
Jose,
on
what are you laughing
iHeartRadio.
at? It's going to be in LA. It's going to be at night.
I love him. I love him. I love LA Knight.
He's great.
So entertaining.
Going right into that, by the way, welcome back, podcast listeners.
Yes.
So, you know what, man? I think what's going to happen with LA Knight, I think that's where we put the the very drifty Bobby Lashley situation.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think LA Knight will survive this, but he needs to be the guy that gets squashed quickly and maybe even twice. Hear me out here for a second. I think LA Knight's like, I want WrestleMania to have an LA Knight moment, as he's been peddling the last few weeks. And then since Lashley, that Bray stuff didn't happen, he's just floating, right? I think he comes in pissed off, squashes LA Knight, so that's done. LA Knight says, I wasn't ready, gets up again, wants something else. Stone Cold. Just a quick thing. Quick thing, twice. And that puts over LA Knight.
I would hope that Bobby is fueled by that after he gets screwed over in this Friday's SmackDown Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh, that's back again. Huh?
It comes back once again, and Bobby Lashley is front and center, and on the graphic beside LA Knight. I'm pretty sure. So if that's how we can set up maybe like that little thing with LA Knight and Bobby Lashley, if something happens in the Battle Royale,
LA Knight eliminates him. Yeah.
Boom,
LA Knight is everything Zack Ryder should have been.
Yeah.
Well, see,
tell that to Chelsea Green.
There's another guy that they're talking about is probably going to come back.
Yeah.
Because he's been really tearing up the indie scene, right? So,
LA
Chico,
Knight,
you're muted,
sorry,
Chico.
I agree with Matt Cardona on this. It cannot be as Zack Ryder. It's just
no.
It's gonna die quickly if he's brought back as Zack Ryder.
Yeah, no, that's over.
Yeah, but do you really see? And I'm gonna get flacked, but all the 3 Cardona fans around the world, like, do we really see Cardona coming back as if like McIntyre came back to WWE? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like.
No,
right? Like,
that's
right?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be that big.
AJ debut. It won't be anything. It wouldn't be nothing like Kenny walking in. No,
right.
Like that. No.
I don't think Cardona fits the traditional. I'm gonna see how I do in the Indies, and then I'm gonna come back bigger than ever because it just doesn't fit the bill. And I don't know. Maybe that's just me and being the lack of a Zack Ryder fan.
I don't need him in WWE. I need LA Knight. I need LA Knight to be an Intercontinental champion. That's
yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah,
I need him right up there. I need him front and center.
I hope he has a good year from between now. I hope that when we come back, and
I think he will.
Next
year. I saw him at the house show, and Steve, you pointed it out. Watching that indie guy work a house show crowd was something special.
He's got it.
He knew what to do. You know, and then,
also LA Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, he's no spring chicken anymore. He's a bit of a veteran now too. Yeah. Not that he doesn't have several years left, but I think they got to give him a good push soon.
He deserves it. I became a huge fan of him at a house show. That's all I got to say. It wasn't anything he did on TV. It was watching him at a house show. I'm like,
I mean,
even Kaiser. I would go with Kaiser on that same thing. Kaiser and LA Knight were my two standouts at the Toronto house show.
Even I mean, it's just the charisma that LA Knight has. It's just the way he talks, right? Like he could be like the worst wrestler, which I don't think he is. No, but like it's just the way he can carry himself with this charisma, with his enthusiasm. That it's like, I'm all in. I love it. I haven't been this entertained in a while.
Yeah. Well, he could easily grab the IC off of Sheamus.
Easy.
Yep. Because Sheamus is we didn't talk about that match really at all.
Yeah, I think about it right now.
Yeah, I think Sheamus is going over. I mean, that's the story here.
I think so too. I think he's winding down his career, and he needs that.
I think Drew is actually going to let him do it. I think that may even be the story. Like maybe Gunther will be laid prone, and Drew's going to start to go for the pin, and then he's going to stand up and he's going to do this. He's going to hold his hands out and say, "You take the pin."
I could see that.
You know, really? I think that could be because I don't
know. Am I missing something? Did I miss something the last few weeks? That could be a thing.
Yeah, I think it could be because
really
Drew
they play that romance thing really well.
And Drew even said tonight during their contract signing, because they had their match last week. You know, he was just like, we had one of the most brutal matches that SmackDown has ever seen. And, you know, the part that I missed is that if this was any other time after that match, you and I would have been out at the bar and we'd have been having a great time talking about it. So like Drew wants the friendship back.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm talking kayfabe. I'm talking in story.
Yeah.
So why not? So why not? Why not? Just give it to Sheamus. It's the one title he hasn't held. This would make him a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And
one title he's never held.
Partner.
Triple H.
His workout partner.
Yeah, and you know what? And Gunther has proven himself to this point. And
he's going to the
I think that he doesn't really need the Mania 100%. Victory this time.
Nope, he doesn't. It's going to be Cody.
That's actually a great question to follow up. You know, the dust is going to settle. You know, we're going to be back here next weekend, and the dust is set. Oh, actually, no, not in 2 weeks because
2 weeks.
I don't think there's going to be an episode during Mania weekend.
No. We're focusing on WrestleMania.
Fantastic. I would have fired you myself. But like when we come back here,
it was me, Austin.
When we come back here in 2 weeks, the dust is going to settle. I know the first question that we're going to ask. Maybe the Raw and SmackDown are going to give us the answers right away. But it's like, who's next? Who's next?
Who's not Goldberg?
Gotta be Gunther.
Oh, please don't Beetlejuice that guy back, please.
He said, "Who's next?" I said, "Not Goldberg. That contract's done."
No.
Yep.
Thank God.
It's got to be Gunther to me. I think Gunther Cody would be a perfect.
That's a bit of a protracted feud too. You can extend that for a while.
You can go forever, and you could have Cody drop to Gunther very believably, very successfully, and not hurt him at all, but really push Gunther.
They were even setting that up on commentary tonight with the fact that Cody went up. It was Cody and Kaiser. They were still pushing that whole idea that Gunther came in at number 1 or number 2, and Cody eliminated it. He went right till the end. You know, he ran the gauntlet, and Cody's the one who eliminated him from the. They were still playing that up. That's not going away.
No. Gunther can ride on two things: Royal Rumble and Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think. I wouldn't put Gunther in that spot right away, because I have a feeling. No, I mean, I think it's the right call. Don't get me wrong, but I also wouldn't be opposed nor surprised if they gave Solo a little taste of the top.
I like that, but I don't think he's ready. I don't.
No.
Also, the promo was believable. He wasn't ready. He's not ready.
I don't think he's ready.
But I don't think he's ready either.
Sheamus. I think he'd be great against Sheamus.
Probably. It's just like the way that they kind of set it up is like maybe they kind of want to see how that goes. You're right. And I don't think he's ready anyways, regardless. The promo is sure it wasn't a promo. That was a shoot. But it's just there's just something about it. I mean, like, okay, that could be
I think he's
Solo trying to Solo. I know, but just right away, Solo trying to prove to everybody that I can do this. I can like avenge Roman and do it myself.
And you're right. However, I think the bloodline just needs to cool. I think
I agree.
Cody walking away with the titles, which I think we all agree probably will. To me, the next obvious move is Gunther. I think that would be a beautiful program. Really good, great matches. But yes, have Solo in the wings. But Solo, look, if Cena does it right, maybe Theory starts to turn. Maybe it's Solo in Theory for US with Theory is fate. Who knows what people do with that? But Solo needs to do a little bit of work, in my opinion, because he's still pretty one-dimensional. You know, he's
very.
I mean, his character is just as an enforcer right now.
Solo dimensional. Yeah, solo dimensional.
But that's the thing. That's literally what his character needs to be at this point, and there's going to be a time where Solo can get a chance to develop into a more deeper character, a more nuanced character, other than being like, the Umaga homage. But
I can see him kind of even testing those waters in a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him as a participant for that. Not win
that tells me he's a bit of a Jannetty.
But has nobody else really noticed
Marty? I feel like he's a bit of a Marty Jannetty in this whole thing. I don't actually think he's going to have the Usos or the Usos. They had a thing. Roman's Roman. I don't, in my gut, I've been watching wrestling a long time. I look at Solo. I'm not feeling it. I think they'll try it. I just don't think he'll carry it.
But has nobody else noticed that he's almost following the same track as Roman, though? Roman was the kind of very silent enforcer in the Shield in the early days, and eventually the character he had an arc, and
Solo Roman has my attention.
So maybe Solo. I think in a couple of years, I think could have something pretty interesting.
For a bit. I actually could see Solo dropping down to NXT for a bit. NXT champ.
Yeah, develop him there. Give him. I mean, we've been talking about over the past few months how Dominic Mysterio probably needed more time in NXT rather than just being bumped up to the main roster.
No,
but
wait a minute. No, Dom's scary. Dom scares me. He's been in prison. Every time my TV comes on, it really scares me. He's really intimidating.
Dom needs a teardrop tattoo.
Yeah,
and teardrop tattoo.
And you know what? At the time, he said he wouldn't be able to make it in jail, mommy.
Yeah,
that's right.
But he did. He owned jail. Like he's come out harder than ever. He's very scary.
He's such a hard man.
Hard. There's got to be a reason why he only spent 3 hours in jail, and
couldn't handle him. Jail spit him out.
Yeah,
jail couldn't handle Dominic. Yeah, jail wanted to lock itself up.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I think, but going back to Cody, I think that he's going to have another feud immediately coming out of Mania, because Roman's going to go away, so there won't be that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it'll be with Jay or Jimmy. Like maybe they'll keep the bloodline thing going. I don't think they
go for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I don't think they go into Gunther right away.
Maybe Seth. Could they revisit Seth?
They could revisit Seth, maybe, but he's going to have another feud or a couple of short feuds before they really put him in with Gunther, because Gunther has to go over.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not going to put him in. They're not going to put him in like a 3-month feud with Gunther and have Gunther go over at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Right. That's not going to happen. So he needs a SummerSlam feud. He probably needs. He could even possibly go to Rumble. Maybe to Mania.
You could.
You know,
Cody as champion.
Yeah,
you could.
I can see Cody being a victim of a Money in the Bank cash in.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah,
I think that's your route. That's your route. Now, whether that
work.
means that means that Cody once again gets a spotlight at WrestleMania 40, and it's not Gunther. That's the thing. No. It's like, who is it? And that sounds really intriguing.
Mustafa Ali, obviously.
Oh, for the love of Christ! But like,
he's motivated now.
And this is weird because I would maybe give. I don't know. I don't think I'd give Money in the Bank to Gunther. I don't think so.
No, he doesn't need it at all.
I don't think so.
He's a machine,
so of course the question is, who gets it? And
Otis.
Jay White,
Montez
New
Ford.
Japan feud.
Montez Ford.
But if
Montez
Ford.
I would be totally okay. I would be totally okay with Montez Mania.
It'd be hard to boo him because he's so incredible, but a Montez Ford Money in the Bank.
It would be.
Oh, that would be phenomenal.
It would be fine. Brilliant. But again, just with the point that I just made about Cody losing to a cash, and you do it to a heel. And the question is, who's
that's
that
what
heel?
I'm saying. It'd be hard to sell Tez as a heel. In
exactly
my
right.
Exactly.
Unless, like,
he's
of course,
he would be brilliant.
Unfortunately,
failed because Montez. He's one of those guys where it's like he's right there, and he can just kind of brush that moment, but he's not ready yet. So get him up there, pull him back, and let him.
Unless the way he splits is by being a heel to Dawkins.
That's what I was going to say. You gotta.
That's possible.
That's his only option.
Predicting that Dawkins is going to be the one to turn.
I got to be honest. Sure. I would go with that because I would actually, if Tez turns on Dawkins, I'd be like, yeah, okay, it makes perfect sense to me because he's the talent there. He's the Shawn Michaels.
So what about
Dawkins is heavily the Jannetty.
Oh,
so absolutely,
yeah, 100%.
So let's run something back a little bit. So let's go back to this coming Mania. What if Cena goes over and he loses it the next night to Jay White or to somebody else, and then Theory starts getting pushed up into the main event scene and he becomes Mr. Money in the Bank?
Ooh.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. That guy can definitely hold the Money in the Bank for sure.
Yeah, because imagine that guy.
Sorry, who?
Theory and Cody
again.
Well, different context, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it worked for him. I mean, I know it's different now, but
it's going to be different.
It's going to be different. I would have completely.
It's not going to be Theory again. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be Theory holding the briefcase.
I think it would be brilliant, but I really think the wild card is the Money in the Bank winner is going to be Dom.
I'd laugh too, but I don't know. We could go there.
Dom cashing in on Cody Rhodes would be hilarious.
Not Cody Rhodes.
What about Finn?
That I would like.
I wouldn't mind that either. Wouldn't mind that either.
Do we dare give a Money in the Bank to Jay White?
I kind of threw that in our mix earlier. Could be.
He's kind of like 80%.
Yeah.
And Kenny, where's Kenny at again?
Kenny's still got some time on his contract.
Yeah, and it was extended too because of his injuries.
Yeah, so
it
looks like he's going until November, I think.
Yeah,
so
earliest is late in the year.
Yeah, Danhausen.
he just tore his pec, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to come back, and they're going to be pec.
Yeah, he just got surgery.
Darn. Okay, no. I don't wish ill on anybody. Don't wish ill on him.
He's cursed. He's cursed.
I'm just saying that the Danhausen character sucks.
I've been deeply disappointed. I'm not going to lie about his actual
it's a bit of a wet blanket.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's with Danhausen. It's not his character. There's nothing. It's not about what's wrong with his character. It's it's the injuries, but also at the same time, Tony Khan doesn't know what to do either.
It's bland. It's a bland character.
It's not got the momentum that Orange Cassidy has had. So I mean,
never will.
Yeah, it's not quite.
Well, he's a social media character.
Yeah,
That's the
That's what
problem.
he is.
True.
He's a
problem.
social media entertainer. He's not.
So
Exactly.
move him over to Impact and give him the Digital Media Championship.
Hey,
That's
He
a
done.
Yeah,
thing.
that would do it.
Woo, woo, woo. You
It
know
is a
it.
championship there.
That's a
Yeah.
thing over there. Really, the
Yeah,
digital
since
media.
you're watching Dom Dom and Ray, like Dom
I think
Dom's
Joe
not
Hendry is the current champion.
scared.
He's pretty funny.
He's scared of Ray. Ray's talking to him, but you can tell Dom Dom he's gonna fight back. Like he's scary. Look at him.
he's just playing possum.
Yeah, he's playing Boston. He's scary.
Yeah.
a lot of good questions following WrestleMania though. At the end of the day, there's a lot of good questions that I can't wait for it to be answered.
Well, I love too
The
that
Raw
there
will
are
be
so
fun.
many options for WrestleMania that there are, even if I wouldn't agree with some alternate finishes to what I want, there's still viable options.
Yeah.
Either way with
Front
so
to
many
back.
matches.
Yep, front to back. I've never been this interested in a complete WrestleMania card.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would agree. I was literally just about to say that, and I'm
Going into it, yeah, I'd have to agree.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
just it's one of the few times where you're almost looking at every match and being like, I don't know which way. It's
What?
gonna
Yeah,
go.
well, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's like Mark Maron in that special, right?
Dare I
His
say-
his
dare-
first line. I don't know what he's going to do.
Oh, I
next.
miss
Dare
Glow
I
already, man.
Dare I say it that the last time I think we had a thought about, wow, every match on the card is worthy to watch is WrestleMania 17.
Mhm.
Because that's
Yeah.
been said about
Wow.
every
Sure.
that's been said about every match on that card, which is weird because it has the likes of Taz and the APA taking on the Right to Censor, right? Or
Yeah, but it was fun at the time, I guess.
it was
so, I
fun.
mean,
It was fun
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
time. Test and Eddie Guerrero
well, it
entertaining
opened
I
with
don't think
with
anybody could
Jericho
argue
and
with
Regal.
and Regal, right? So
I
like
wipe his feet on the. Oh, come on! I can't get that Regal. Oh,
and
love
again, like I don't like before we get our vintage fans in an outrage. 17 is gonna be 17, right? Like
You're a young man.
that's a special mania. It's always gonna be a special mania. I
high
think
watermark. Yeah.
I think we're always going to say it is the best WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah.
For now.
I don't.
No. Well,
Look,
I'm gonna
look,
say
look,
though. Okay, hold on. I sorry to
I-
interrupt you, but I think that the bloodline story. I've said it. Several people have said it. Best storyline of all time.
right. But
So it
that
could have an impact on this whole thing. That's the juice is just there's so much.
in all the WrestleManias that I've seen, which is dumb to say because I've seen them all. I said about the closest of the best of all time. I said that twice. 19 and 30. 19 and 30. Maybe 20. But 30 and 19 for me are highly up there. Right? And
what was 30 that got you? Just
the Daniel
Daniel
Bryan,
Bryan.
the
Oh,
Daniel
of course.
Bryan moment,
Yeah.
and we call him here. Undertaker losing the streak. So and again, like like that WrestleMania was like filled with shock value, filled with emotion, right? And again, yes, we will always debate about the streak,
Sure.
ending, if it
Yeah.
should have or not. But the shock value, the
hear ya.
moment, the heart
Mhm.
drop. That is
Yeah.
what WrestleMania is all about. Those moments that make you
Moments.
remember till the end of time. That is going to be a moment. I'm sorry for all the Taker fans, but it's true.
no.
It's
you're right.
true. It's true.
So,
Very.
so that's why I put WrestleMania 30 up there because there for a card that only had like about 7-8 matches, boy oh boy did they really give us a lot of fun moments in that Mania.
Yep.
But
For
did.
sure.
so twice I
At
said
the
that.
Superdome.
So so twice I said
We're all
that
dark.
like twice I said a 17 could be a match. They fall just short of 17. 39. It's the potential is there. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know if
There
will
is potential.
because again 17 is special, but the potential is there. I think this would be a
Triple
better.
H needs this. He needs this.
He
to be
needs
the
this.
one people go, yep, that was a WrestleMania.
I think for now you try to compare it with the hype that it's getting. You compare it to the successes of 30, of 31, of 20. I don't want to say 24 because that's just such a different. So I'm going to say 30 and 31 because those are two very back to back.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Yes,
The hype of 15 was huge because it was Rock.
But I
Austin.
barely remember that in hindsight. There
Yeah,
wasn't much.
I
that
do.
stuck with
I
me.
remember Rock Austin. That was big.
was the
Yeah.
hype bigger for their first bout or their second bout?
15, if I remember correctly, was the first time they met main
It was.
event for the title.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
big.
hype was big.
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hype was huge for that. It was big because 14 didn't have it because it was Michael's Austin. People are like the buzz was building with Austin. Austin just crossed the Rubicon with like, you can't come back from this. But 15 was when you were coming off of Austin. So the hype for 15 was big in my recollection anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was rocking Austin at their absolute, well, 17 would have been their absolute peak, but
Podcast premium content. We're using words like Rubicon, folks.
Coming from our
I'm not
educator.
even sure I used it correctly, but it felt right.
I don't even know what it means.
Rubicon. I know.
It's a reference to a Roman strategy where they Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon, and you can't come back from this now. It's
Cool.
an important, yeah.
Yeah, it
I
is a
also
river in
will say
Italy.
that-
It's a river in Italy. Yeah.
I also will say that 39 has a chance to stand out because of the up and down manias that have been there since 33, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the 30s of WrestleMania, right? This is gonna be the last 30. Right? Now I'm really sounding dumb here, but it hasn't had the best track record in the last decade. It hasn't. All right. 32 has been a disaster. 33 was up and down with that questionable ending. 34 was okay. I have bias for 35 since I was there, but even then, I can be mature, take a step back, and said it was a long mania. I was getting very sleepy at MetLife Stadium, but my dream came true, so I didn't really care. But I can take a step back and go, there could have been better spots, or maybe it could have been significantly shorter. I would have called this great. 36, the pandemic, right? Like it's 37. They're trying to bounce back from that. They didn't know how to use the 2-night properly in front of the fans. I think they missed their cue on a couple of spots there, but it was decent. And then 38 was probably, it showed signs of like, damn, they could use a 2-night.
Oh, God, we were watching that together. Come on.
And we had
Cody coming out. We had a great time. Austin's match was, I mean, say what you want about the match, but
unexpectedly amazing.
It was enjoyable.
Great.
It was fantastic. But you saw my children. It
closed night one so well.
You saw my kids. You saw my kids freaking out to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, them too. But I was freaking out too. Like
I was losing my mind. I wanted to tell them quiet.
I will forever cherish the laughter we had seeing Vince take that
the worst stunner ever.
And I still have it recorded. I still have the edited tape.
Fantastic.
And thank God that Lex recorded it. But that will always be special. But the point is, yes, 38 was decent to good, if not great. Great.
Sure.
You know, so 39, it can easily outstand the others because of the up and down decade that we've had at WrestleMania.
Sure.
Exactly. I'm just saying that it's not hard to over
the equity that the bloodline is built for sure.
The other thing that we have to remember, if you want to look at the business side of it too, is they're up for sale. That sale is supposed to happen next month. You can bet that any potential buyers are waiting to see the success of 39. There is a lot riding on this. There is a lot riding on this. This is not just Triple H's legacy. This is not just, the payoff of the bloodline story. It's not just that. This is Nick Khan. This is his career resting on this. This is, the sale of a multi-billion-dollar company could be riding on this. So I think that they're going to be doing everything they can to make it great, as great as they possibly can.
Now, when you say that now, I'm a little more convinced that Cody's getting it because he would make such a good poster boy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Roman does too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that either. But I just think that it just feels like Cody has cross-company goodwill.
Yes.
Like he's industry wide kind of guy, and I know that doesn't have everything to do with WWE, but I just think that he might be the right guy to put that on in such a time as this for that to happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. You know what? Dang, I'm just I'm listening to all this right now, and I haven't said much because I just love what you guys have been talking about so far, and Yeah, it's and for those of you listening again to the podcast version of our show, episode number 86 over here, this has been just amazing, overwhelming, and just having a great time, just listening and just talking wrestling with some of my bestest wrestling buddies over here on the air and also on the pod. But you know what? All the things that we could say, it'll pale in comparison to, we hope rather, it'll pale in comparison to the experience that we're going to be having in about 6 days from now when we do watch WrestleMania 39, wherever we're going to be watching WrestleMania, wherever you're going to be watching WrestleMania as well. So thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for being with us on this podcast and on the radio show as well. First of all, and in terms of thanks, I want to thank all of the people that have appeared on this show over the past year, or past 2 years, actually. So first off, of course, Colin's not here, so let's give Colin a shout out. Happy belated birthday, but happy current birthday. He celebrated his birthday on March the 24th. So Colin at Risen72, happy birthday. Thank you to Jose Senor WrestleMania at JAT_93, John Diamond Dawson, or Taco Dawson if you'd like to call him that, at John Dawson Music, Coco Collects at Coco Collects, Chico Nugget, our wrestling memorabilia collector and Impact Wrestling
The
expert.
Plunder Taker.
Now Plunder Taker, exactly. And the Prodigal Oos at Piconi Steve Piconi. Also, to everybody who's appeared on the show the past couple of years here, Vinny Salvador, Jim Berenger, Alan Ken, and Blaine Vandergrind, and Jimmy Corderas, especially our friend of the show, Jimmy, former WWE and pro wrestling referee Jimmy Corderas, and everybody who from Praveen to Jyoti, who puts us on the air and has faith in us on Sauga 960 and also on our podcast, and to Jacob and to Money. Yeah. All of you guys have made this show what it is. And of course, all of our listeners, all of our great listeners, you make the show. You're the reason why we want to do this show, because we love talking wrestling and we want to talk wrestling with you. So continue the conversation with us, please, at Ringside_Heat on our social media. And thank you so much to everybody who just makes the show what it is. Final thoughts before we sign off for WrestleMania weekend, guys.
Okay, my final thought is, why does it sound like this is our last show? What was all
Dude,
that?
it's going into WrestleMania, so he's treating it like a season finale type.
Season
season
finale.
finale?
Roll with it, John. Roll with it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
It's like
everybody.
a demarcation line.
I want to
WrestleMania.
thank the crew. The production crew was amazing on this. The catering was fantastic. I want to just thank everybody. I remember when I was a kid and I said I'd never be on radio, and my parents said, "No, you're going to be on radio." I want to thank you for everybody who believed in me.
They believed in you. They believed in you. Believe that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
I want to thank my publicist and my agent.
That's right. Yeah.
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 No,
without you, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
Suffice it to say, I would like to thank God.
I would like to thank God.
Is that allowed?
Or do you want to thank?
Controversial?
On the podcast it is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank Lex for
Yes,
putting
absolutely.
this together and inviting me to join you degenerates. And I know that I've said no more times than I've said yes to be on the show, and but it's always a pleasure to be here.
You're a part of the ring crew. We all know that. You know
well.
that. Isn't he? Come on.
If
Oh, yeah.
nothing else, the Dark Horse, and that's kind of a cool moniker too. So whatever.
I
Like
have
the
a
little
nickname now!
waiting in the wings.
His nickname has come true.
The
Dark Horse.
He's no
Steve
longer
Piconi.
Steve.
I'm writing this
Did
down.
Did I
for
just
my-
come up with that? That's out of nowhere, man. Sorry.
I'm just writing this down for my my next 2K23 character,
There it
Dark
is.
Dark Horse.
Not to be confused with the comic book company.
Yeah. Well,
Or the Amanda Marshall song.
Oh, love that, man.
Great
Classic Canadian content right there.
Oh, yeah, good job.
I don't know if Jose remembers Amanda Marshall. I think he was still like, I don't know, trying to figure out how to
utero,
walk.
probably.
Let's not talk
on
about
all
what
fours
Jose
or something.
remembers.
Yeah, who knows?
Let's not do that, please.
I think he was still like under the umbrella tree or something somewhere.
Wow. Wow.
He doesn't even know what that is. So Yeah. Anyways, no, thanks to Benjamin Lex Tan for putting this together. Fantastic. It's been a great experience. And now that we've lost all our listeners because they were just patting each other's backs, thanks for this. Eternally grateful. Looking forward to more.
Thank you guys, and again, thank you to all of the people who have listened to this show, all of you listeners that that tune into our show and also to our podcast, and of course, we will have to take WrestleMania weekend off because you know what, you're not going to be listening.
None of you are
going
to listen to
no,
us.
Exactly, none of you are. But we understand that, we're aware, but you know, we will be back 2 weeks from now, when we're dealing with the WrestleMania fallout, and we're going to be talking about either how great the show went, how mediocre the show went, maybe how bad the show went. I don't know. We don't know. But that's the great thing about WrestleMania, is that there's always this great anticipation, and it's a great night just to celebrate this fandom, to celebrate this genre of entertainment, and to celebrate this with just people who understand, friends who understand, and family who understand what this all means, what wrestling means to everybody who is a wrestling fan. So thank you so much, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Thank you, John, Jose, Steve, Chico, and also Colin over in Cape Breton Island. This is Ringside Heat. We are the new law in this town.
Enjoy WrestleMania!